The woman kneels in the dirt, hands bound behind her back with hemp rope that has already drawn blood. Her dress is torn at the shoulder. Dust coats her face, turning her hair gray, though she cannot be 30. The sun beats down without mercy on the town square of Redemption Flats, and the crowd has formed a half circle around her, keeping their distance as if guilt might be contagious. "You poisoned that well," Sheriff Bridger says. His voice carries across the square. 3 children dead. 4 more sick. She does not look up. Her lips move, but no sound comes. The crowd murmurs. Someone throws a stone that lands short. The woman flinches, but holds her position, still kneeling, still silent. Her name is Sarah Merritt. She arrived 6 months ago on the stage, carrying 1 trunk and no references. She took work as a seamstress. She kept to herself. This morning they found her drawing water from the town well, and the Henderson boy was already dead. "String her up," someone shouts. "Wait for the trial," Bridger says, but he does not sound convinced of his own words. A horse approaches from the west. The rider sits differently than other men. Straight, but not rigid. Balanced like he grew from the saddle. He wears dusty buckskins, and his hair falls past his shoulders, black, shot through with silver. His face is weathered, the way cliff rock is weathered. All sharp angles and wind-carved planes. A scar runs from his left eye to his jaw, old and white. He is called Thomas Farrow, though some know him by his Comanche name. He dismounts without speaking. "This ain't your concern, Farrow," Bridger says. Farrow walks past him to the well. He draws the bucket up, hand over hand, the rope whispering through his fingers. Water sloshes. The crowd falls silent. He dips his cupped hand into the bucket and drinks. The square holds its breath. He takes a second swallow. A third. Then he pours the remaining water over his head, letting it run down his face and neck, soaking his shirt. "You're wrong," he says. "She's innocent." "You can't know that," Bridger says. "The water's clean." Farrow turns to face the sheriff. "Whatever killed those children, it wasn't this well. Maybe she poisoned it after. 3 days ago, I drank from this well, yesterday, this morning before dawn." His voice is quiet, but it carries. "If it were poisoned, I would be dead." The crowd shifts. Someone coughs. Farrow walks to where Sarah kneels and cuts her bonds with his knife. One swift motion. She gasps and brings her hands forward, rubbing her wrists. She still does not look up. "She needs a place," Farrow says. "She needs a trial," Bridger says. "Then hold your trial. Until then, she comes with me." The pine sits and dits in a valley between 2 ridges, hidden from the main trail. Cottonwoods grow thick along the creek that runs behind it. The structure is simple. 4 rooms built from pine logs, a stone chimney, a porch that sags on the north corner. Farrow built it himself 10 years back. He lives alone. Sarah has not spoken since they left town. She sits in the saddle in front of him, holding herself rigid, as far from his chest as balance allows. When they arrive, she slides down before he can offer help. "There's a room," he says, pointing. Second door, clean sheets. Lock works from inside. She looks at him then, finally. Her eyes are gray, the color of rain. She is thin, too thin, and her face bears the kind of weariness that comes from expecting the worst and usually receiving it. Why? She asks. Because you need it. You don't know me. I know innocent when I see it. She studies his face, searching for the lie. Finding none, she nods once and goes inside. He tends to his horse, then splits wood until his shoulders burn. Physical work helps. It always has. When the pile is sufficient for 3 days, he carries an armload inside and builds up the fire. The sun is setting, turning the sky the color of a healing bruise. He makes coffee and biscuits, nothing fancy. He sets a plate outside her door and knocks once. "Food," he says. No answer. But later, when he checks, the plate is empty. The days settle into rhythm. He rises before dawn, does his work. She stays in her room, mostly, emerging only when she thinks he's occupied elsewhere. He sees her at the creek once, washing clothes. She scrubs them hard, as if trying to remove something that won't come clean. On the 4th day, he finds her on the porch. She is sewing, mending one of his shirts without being asked. Her stitches are small and even, the work of practiced hands. "You don't have to," he says. "I'm not a charity case." "Didn't say you were." She threads her needle. "What do you want from me?" "Nothing. Everyone wants something." He sits on the porch rail, keeping distance between them. "My mother used to say, a person who expects nothing can't be disappointed. She was wrong. You can expect nothing and still hope for better. That hoping, that's what makes us human." Sarah's needle pauses. "Your mother was Comanche?" "Yes." "And your father?" "A trapper from Pennsylvania. They had 3 good years before the cholera took her." She resumes sewing. The needle flashes in the afternoon light. "I didn't poison that well." "I know." "They'll hang me anyway if they can." "Not while I'm breathing." She ties off the thread and bites it clean. "Why do you care?" He watches the creek, the water moving over stones worn smooth by time. "Because someone has to." "Because mercy isn't mercy if it's easy." "Because 10 years ago, someone showed me kindness when I deserved none, and I've been paying that debt forward ever since." She hands him the mended shirt. Their fingers brush, just for a moment. She pulls back quickly, but not before he sees something in her eyes. Not quite trust, but the possibility of it. A door opened an inch. That night, he hears her crying through the wall. He does not intrude. Some sorrows need privacy. But in the morning, he finds she has made coffee. And there are 2 cups on the table. Small things. But beginnings are always small. 3 weeks pass. Sarah begins to emerge more often, standing on the porch in the early morning, watching the sun climb over the eastern ridge. She helps with the garden, turning soil that has not been tended in years. Her hands grow calloused. Color returns to her face. They speak in fragments, trading small truths like currency. I had a husband once, she says one afternoon, pulling weeds. He drank. When he drank, he used his fists. Pharaoh says nothing, just keeps working the soil. I left him in St. Louis, took what money I'd hidden, and ran. He's probably still looking. He won't find you here. How can you be sure? Because here, you're not alone. She looks at him, really looks at him, and something shifts in her expression. The door opens another inch. On Sunday, Pharaoh rides into town for supplies. He leaves Sarah a rifle and tells her to shoot anyone who causes trouble. She nods, holding the weapon with the confidence of someone who has used one before. The general store goes quiet when he enters. Mrs. Henderson stands by the counter, her face a mask of grief. Her youngest boy was one of the dead. "You're harboring a murderer," she says. "I'm harboring an innocent woman. The doctor found arsenic in the well water. Someone put it there." Pharaoh sets coins on the counter for flour and coffee. "But not Sarah Merritt." "Then who?" "I don't know, but I know her. She's not capable of that." "You've known her a month," Bridger says from the doorway. "I've been sheriff here 7 years. I know this town. I know when something doesn't fit." Then look harder at what does fit. Who had access? Who had reason? Bridger's jaw tightens. "Are you accusing?" "I'm saying, look beyond the convenient answer." Outside, a group has gathered. Pharaoh recognizes most of them. Farmers, merchants, decent people made dangerous by fear and grief. They follow him to his horse, keeping pace as he loads his supplies. "Send her back to town for trial," someone calls. "She'll get a fair trial when you're ready to give her one." "We're ready now." Pharaoh mounts his horse. He looks at them, these people he has lived among for 10 years, people he has helped with harvests and barn raisings and winter illnesses. He sees the fear in their eyes, the need to blame someone, anyone, for the unbearable loss of children. "No," he says simply, and rides away. But he feels their eyes on his back, and he knows this is not finished. That night, Sarah asks about his scar. They sit by the fire, the room warm and close. "Knife fight," he says. "I was 17, angry at the world, angry at being half one thing, half another, fully neither. A man said something about my mother. I didn't let it pass." "Did you win?" "I survived." "That's not the same as winning." He touches the scar absently. "The man who stopped the fight was a Quaker named William Hatch. He took me to his farm, gave me work, and taught me that strength isn't about fists. When he died, he left me money, enough to buy land, build this place. He sounds like a good man." He was. He used to say, "Forgiveness is a house you build one timber at a time." I'm still building. Sarah and quiet for a long moment. Then, "I'm afraid, Thomas." It is the first time she has used his name. "I know. They'll come for me eventually. Let them come." But even as he says it, he knows it is not enough. Words are not enough. And he does not know what will be. The attack comes on a Tuesday, just after midnight. Sarah wakes to the sound of breaking glass and men's voices, rough with whiskey and righteousness. Torchlight flickers through the windows. "Send her out, Pharaoh." She finds him already awake, rifle in hand. His face is calm, but his eyes are hard as flint. "Stay back from the windows," he says. "How many?" 8. Maybe 10. Thomas. "I won't let them take you." But even as he says it, she sees the impossibility of their situation. He is one man. They are many. And more will come. She makes her decision quickly, the way she has learned to make all important decisions, before fear can overtake sense. "I'm going out." "No. If I don't, they'll burn this house. They'll kill you. I won't have that on my conscience." He grabs her arm, gentle but firm. "Sarah, listen. I've been running my whole life, Thomas. From my father, from my husband, from everyone who wanted to make me small and scared. I'm tired of running. This isn't running. This is surviving." "No." She pulls free, looks at him fully. "Surviving is what I did before. This staying, fighting, trusting you to stand with me, this is living. There's a difference." Something breaks in his expression. He sets down the rifle and takes her face in his hands, rough palms against her cheeks. For a moment, she thinks he will kiss her. Instead, he rests his forehead against hers. "Then we go together," he says. They walk out onto the porch side by side. The torches reveal faces she recognizes from town, men who have tipped their hats to her, women who have bought her sewing. Bridger stands at the front, looking uncomfortable in his role. "She's coming in for trial," the sheriff says, "peaceable or not." "Then let it be peaceable," Sarah says. Her voice carries clear and strong. "I'll stand trial. I'll answer every question. But not because you forced me, because it's right." The crowd shifts, uncertain. "And I want Thomas Pharaoh to stand with me as witness and counsel. If this town has any decency left, you'll grant me that." Mrs. Henderson steps forward from the crowd. Her face is haggard, aged a decade in 3 weeks. "Did you kill my boy?" "No, ma'am. I swear on my own mother's grave I did not." "Then who did?" "I don't know, but I want to know. Those children deserve justice, real justice, not a hanging to make everyone feel better." The older woman's eyes search Sarah's face for a long time. Finally, she nods and turns to Bridger. "Let her have her trial proper, and let Pharaoh stand with her. We owe them that much." The trial takes 3 days. The doctor testifies about the arsenic. Pharaoh testifies about drinking the well water before and after the deaths. Sarah testifies about her movements, via her work, her life. She holds nothing back, not her failed marriage, not her flight, not her fear. On the 3rd day, a traveling salesman comes forward. He had been in town the week before the poisoning, selling patent medicines and tonics. One of his bottles was missing when he left, a bottle that contained arsenic for pest control. He had assumed it lost or misplaced. It takes another week to find the real culprit, a grieving father named Morrison who had lost his own daughter to cholera the year before. In his twisted logic, if his child could not live, no child should. He had meant to poison the school well, but confused it with the town well, in his drunken, grief-mad state. When they lead him away, he is weeping. Sarah walks out of the courthouse, a free woman. The town watches in silence, shamefaced. Some offer apologies. She accepts them, with grace, but without forgiveness. That will come later, or perhaps never. She has that right. Pharaoh waits with his horse. She approaches slowly, stops in front of him. "I could go anywhere now," she says. "St. Louis, California, somewhere no one knows my name." "You could. Is there a reason I shouldn't?" He does not answer with words. Instead, he reaches into his saddlebag and pulls out a small bundle wrapped in cloth. Inside are seeds, tomatoes, squash, beans. "Thought we might expand the garden," he said. Who says, "If you're staying." She takes the seeds, feels their weight in her palm. Small things, beginnings. "I'll need my own room still, for a while." "It's yours, as long as you want it. And I'll want to open a proper dress shop, in town, where people can see that I'm not hiding. I'll help you build it." She looks at the seeds, then at him. The door in her heart, that careful door, swings fully open. "Then I'm staying," she says. They ride back to the cabin together as autumn begins its slow turn toward winter. The cottonwoods along the creek are beginning to gold. She unpacks her trunk that night, hangs her dresses in the wardrobe, sets her mother's Bible on the shelf. Small acts of permanence. In the spring, they plant the garden together. The seeds take root in soil they have prepared with shared labor. Sarah opens her shop in town, and slowly, tentatively, the people of Redemption Flats remember how to trust. Pharaoh adds a room to the cabin, a workshop, where she can sew. One evening, as they sit on the porch watching the light fade, she reaches for his hand. He takes it, his calloused palm against hers, and they sit in comfortable silence as the stars emerge. Love, they have learned, is not found. It is built, timber by timber, seed by seed, choice by choice. It is a house raised against the darkness, a garden planted in hope. It is staying when leaving would be easier. It is mercy, given and received. It is two people, scarred and wary, deciding that together they are stronger than afraid. The creek runs on behind them, water over stone, patient and eternal. And the cabin, once empty, is now a home,